also made astonishing claims about KISS's name. They said KISS stands for Knights in Service to Satan.
And where would Satanism be without Ozzy?
I don't think Ozzy Osbourne is a Satanist. I mean, he's a showman. And this is what a lot of people don't understand.
Most notoriously, he's supposed to have bitten the head off a bat. So if he gained any black magical powers from that, they were probably outweighed by the fact he then had to have rabies jabs.
You look at their albums, someone put those symbols there. Someone had those incredible images. Someone gave them the words.
And the bête noire of almost every American parent, Marilyn Manson.
It was amazing to see the Christian picketers at the Marilyn Manson concerts who were so, worried about, let's face it, a rock star.
These people, I believe, are very sad. Most of them are deluded. They do not see themselves as members of some great global conspiracy. But there's no doubt some kind of a spirit of evil has led them to such groups.
The line between fantasy and reality is very often blurred, and they take something that's a horror show and think it's an actual horror.
But according to the evangelists, Ozzy and his ilk have already laid the ground for the Prince of Darkness.
The kids are not interested in the old stage stuff. Now they want to get deeper. They've been desensitized by music, by television, and popular culture into the most horrible, filthy depredation. Absolutely, this is bringing people into such a mindset that the Antichrist will walk in with ease. He's got his whole substructure. The infrastructure has been prepared for the coming on the stage of the Antichrist, ultimate evil.
So, if or when he comes, how will we actually recognize him?
I believe he could come as a man of great statesman-like appearance. Will he be a world leader? He may. Will he be a religious leader? Possibly. But certainly he will be a man that people will trust.
Prince Charles has been put up as a possible candidate for the Antichrist. I don't think so. I think he's a little bit too goofy to be the Antichrist himself.
George Bush,
Henry Kissinger,
Bill Gates.
I've heard also that it's a 27-year-old American living in the Southwest.
Which narrows it down to about 30 million. Whoever the Antichrist is, conspiracy theorists think he already has a special way of communicating with his disciples.
Oh, I had a good friend who did this backward masking with speeches by world leaders. And he found some amazing things.
Next month, America will achieve the law.
Clinton may be talking about the most inane subject, but when you play it backwards, he says things like, I love you, Lucifer. Come quickly, my Lord Lucifer.
Not much sign of it there.
And I would be surprised, from what I understand, if Prime Minister Blair is not part of this.
So there was some truth in that demonized campaign. But even children's author J.K. Rowling stands accused.
I am convinced she is an occultist. J.K. Rowling, she comes over and she presents this the wizardry, the witchcraft, and she attempts to make it a sort of the white witchcraft. But it's not good. There is nothing good about it.
Of course, all good things come to an end, including the world. And the return of the Antichrist has generated no shortage of prophesizers diligently on hand to warn of imminent disaster.
I cannot count how many Christian doomsayers there are in American society at this point in time. It is a very, very big thing to teach that the Antichrist is soon going to rise, that the end of the world is just around the corner.
There's always been people and groups who, whether it's based on the Bible or some other text or belief that the end of the world is about to happen, or that there's some secret group that's trying to bring about the end of the world for their own sinister purposes, or the end of civilization anyway. So really apocalyptic ideas and conspiracy theories are very closely tied together.
If the book of Revelation is to be believed, the end of the world will be quite an event.
There will be the four horsemen of the apocalypse, each one bringing greater terror than the one before. The pale horseman is, I think, the most terrifying, because he brings with him death.
the belief that the world's about to come to an end has always been very popular, and I don't know if I'd say that the people who are espousing these beliefs are in it for the money. Maybe some are. It makes a good story, makes good movies, like The Omen.
But perhaps it's not the end of the world we should be worrying about. Rather, the conspiracy theories that generate the fears and distrust in society and the people who use them to justify their existence.
There have always been moments where certain things in culture have caused people to be very tense about their lives. This is when they have looked for a conspiracy theory to explain everything. And what's happened is that sometimes people have used the conspiracy theories to go after various different groups of people. Jews, blacks, Catholics, Satanists, even Christians. And so it's something that can be very dangerous.
No matter how much you question a conspiracy theory, once it's become embedded in the belief system of a person or a cult story, they will find ways of rationalizing it. They simply expand the boundaries.
And far from damping down the conspiracy theories, both the evangelists and the Satanists continue to add fuel to the fire, because it's in their interest to do so. Without an enemy to fight, there's little meaning to their existence.
The game is about over. Because of all the events of the Bible, there are only a few events that are left to occur. But those events are so dramatic that I literally almost cry to consider the horrible gravity of the things that are going to occur.
Are Satanists conspiring to take over the world and influence the culture? Some might say that. I think that the human future will be directed by many Satanists, although the general culture may never know that they've had their hands on these things.
These people have an agenda. Is it satanic? Yes. Do they create wars? Yes. To bring about peace. And that peace is deadly. Because that's going to require all of us to surrender everything we've got to this evilarchy, this oligarchy of evil, for all time.